Good morning to all the participants who are here today in the debate. They are the audience and the members of both groups. I am the moderator and I'm going to present you the debate whose topic is the impact of new technologies in society. As this is a wide topic, we will talk about it having in mind 4 subtopics. 1. 24/7 connection. 2. Privacy. 3. Social relationships. And 4. Cyberbullying. I would like to ask both groups for some respect towards each other and towards the audience, because we have the right to express our opinion and the obligation to respect and listen to others' opinion, although we disagree with them. Also, remember that your participation should last only 1 minute and no more, okay? So, without further ado, we are going to start the debate. On my left side is the positive team, who thinks that the impact of new technologies in society is something positive, and on my right side is the negative team. I hope you understand the topic. The first subtopic is 24/7 connection, and we are going to start with the positive team. Who is the first? You.
Hello, good morning. I would like to start saying that there are some important investigations that contend that the overuse of technology could also improve the efficiency at work or at school. Of course, it depends on what we are spending our time using technology. As long as we get internet, we are using technology such as internet, we are getting a fast access to a wide amount of information in a real time. This provides us a great easy to carry out our tasks. Moreover, even if you are using technology without a productive purpose, we are developing some important skills as how to browse or find something on the net in a faster way, or improving our understanding, computer understanding, and a rational or logical way of thinking.
Sir.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Isaac. I totally agree with you, Diego. Staying connected 24/7 can improve the efficiency in our works and even make our life easier. But I think it could be a double-edged sword. Some investigation suggests that employees who put some distance between work and home may achieve a greater cohesiveness with their colleagues. When you are connected 24/7, at some point you may experience some burnout in your job, even hate that you have become so dependable and indispensable for your colleagues and your boss. A research conducted by Randstad discovered that 45% of workers feel obligated to respond their emails after hours, while 47% of the workers feel guilty if they don't work when sick, either when site or from home. Finally, if we talk about work-life balance, staying connected 24/7 it takes away time for your family and your friends, worsening your personal life.
Miguel.
Well, I do not agree with you. If we make a responsible use of technology, we improve our lives in general. For example, we can work from anywhere, not just from the office. And this allows us to be more productive and provides more flexibility, which improves our lives in general. The report of Federal Telework Bill shows that a majority of working Americans said this was the effect of communication technology, since 56% said it allows them to be more productive and 53% said it provides them more flexibility.
Thank you. Raquel?
Well, Miguel Angel, you should know that the word addiction could be defined as a state of being a slave to an habit, to a practice, or to something that is psychologically or physically habit forming. And the cessation of this habit could cause several trauma. So the become to a technology addict is a real problem because it's a illness. Not only because can cause depression or narcissism, the use of wireless communication can cause hypersensitive, electromagnetic hypersensitive due to the exposure to the electromagnetic field.
Daniel.
Yes, Raquel, but I want to tell you that another advantage of 24/7 connection becomes apparent when you travel abroad. According to a mobility report by Expedia.mx, in 2014 they interviewed nearly 9,000 travelers, and this report revealed that 96% of interviewees consider fundamental to use mobile devices in the travels. Most of them use these devices to send emails, take pictures, or use maps, but they don't only use it during the trip. Also, they use these devices to plan the travel, for example, booking a hotel, defining an itinerary, etc. In conclusion, new technologies are very useful when you want to travel.
I agree with you when you say that technology is important when you travel, but you have to be careful, especially you have to have the correct behavior when you use, for example, a smartphone. People can be offended when you make calls and you speak very loud, or also you take selfies with people that you don't know. So finally, you have to beware using these devices, and especially don't make emphasis in using with respect to the others.
Victoria.
Thank you, Ivan, for your intervention, but you should know that the video games and the internet since childhood has made a new generations that are getting good with and almost interested in technologies, to the point that they almost usually instinctively and manage a large technological knowledge at an early age. Moreover, these young people are connected habitually and develop some benefits. For example, considering the point of the video games, okay, there are some scientific studies which demonstrate that people take accurate decisions faster and improves the visual capacity. And also the virtual reality, it says that help people recover from strokes, phobias, and other injuries.
Sarah.
Okay, I agree with you, but in some cases, technology can affect people very negatively because it can cause isolation from the real world due to the many hours spent surfing the internet, chatting, or playing video games. And that means losing an important part of their times that they could use doing other activities. And if we venture into the topic of virtual reality, the idea of escapism appears. People often live in the virtual world instead of dealing with the real one. And when these environments become much higher quality and immersive, they will be more attractive, but they will also generate a sequence of problems in the following decades.
Okay, thank you, teams. Now we are going to start the second subtopic, which is privacy. And now we are going to start with the negative team.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Fabian and I will introduce the second topic. Privacy is a term that paves the way for the correct use for internet and new technologies. If a person doesn't know much about technology or internet, someone could access to his personal information and his research, and can do or the route that he follows via the internet. This information is collected for the companies to sell it to other companies and governments. And in my opinion, technologies are used for control the people.
Miguel.
Actually, Fabian, when any of us enter some websites on the internet, we can see this message warning us about cookies. In my opinion, these cookies make our lives easier because they allow companies to offer a more personal service to the user. If you enter, for example, a travel site, you can see immediately personalized offers based on your own searches and likes, and this let companies improve their services.
Miguel Angel, if you don't have a good security, someone can gain access to your credit card, and with it, it can access also to your bank account. So, for example, there are some web pages that clone the original web bank page, and for example, some users use these pages, and the hackers obtains the information that they put inside. So finally, also there are some software that you can get the hacking programs to allow obtaining data from other information devices. For example, there is a famous case about a bank that theft 34 million euros, and this money was from 27 countries, and for this reason, I want to say that all the internet is insecure.
Leo?
Yes, Ivan, it's true, but it's true that if we don't have good security, it can be dangerous. But I think that the government and banks take very seriously the cybersecurity, and this danger is controlled now. To be able to hack a computer for the police is a very important tool. This gives us the possibility of accessing, for example, a computer from a criminal or a terrorist, and it is important in order to anticipate their crime.
Sarah?
Okay, it is true that they can use the vulnerability of the security on the internet to access to the criminal computers, but most of the times it is the other way around. I mean, it's the criminals who access to the computer of the people. They can take your photos, your videos, some personal information, and just post it on social network. So the police prevent you to have the video on the internet, but the video is going to be on the network, and when someone take your personal things, the damage may be unrepairable.
Jose?
Yes, but if someone has the video, the risk to be caught by the police, and then they put in prison. This sentence is between 6 months to 2 years. For only has the video, or for hacking a page to publish the video. As my classmates said before, the government and privacy or social companies are becoming more involved with the security on internet. Therefore, it is safer to surf on internet, and the risk to be hacked is reduced.
Thank you, teams. Now, before starting with the next subtopic, the audience may have some questions. No? Who is the next? Esther?
Thank you, Juan. My question is for the positive team. There are companies, as the ACLU, that work to promote a future where technology can be implemented in ways that protect civil liberties, to limit the collection of personal information, to ensure that individuals have control over their private data. But knowing that all is connected to the internet and that you can access a personal computer easily, do you think that ACLU purpose will be able to work?
Yes, I think it could be possible, but it's a long way since the internet is massive and it grows every day. But it's true that it's a good beginning, and the ACLU propose is a good start.
Okay, thank you for your
You're
answer.
welcome.
Another question?
I have heard of the way in which addictions affect the brain, but is there any psychological disorder related to full day connection?
It's known that addiction increases the level of a neurotransmitter called dopamine, which leads to the sensation of pleasure. Specifically, there is a no mobile phone phobia, aka nomophobia, that is the fear of being out of mobile phone contact.
Other question?
Another doubt arose to me. It is a fact that anyone, not necessarily being a hacker, can follow my digital trace through the internet. I follow. But for example, employees can find out the web pages I have visited or even where I am now. How can those items be avoided by privacy settings?
Raquel.
It's easy, Javier. To avoid a person, a machine can trace your web page you have visited or even the location. You must disable the cookies and the GPAs.
Okay, thank you, teams, and thank you, the audience. Now we are going to start with the subtopic number 3, which is social relationships. And now we are going to start with the positive team. Victoria?
With the proliferation of the technologies that are able to overcome the obstacles of time and play and space, like airplanes and cars or the internet, you would think that these tools would be used to for drawing and understanding other cultures, meet people all over the world, maintain and strengthen the familiar relationship, communicate effectively with others, and make people become more socially adept.
I agree, but some technological advances may cause people feel distracted, overly stressed, and increasingly isolated. Many people make a relationship through internet, and sometimes the quantity of this association leaves people feel really empty. So technology has a profound impact on what it means to be social.
Jose?
Yes, Ivan, but socially, the new technologies allow us to meet new people, to expand our group of friends, or even to find love. This is very useful for the shy, or for those who can meet new people. From the study that I have here, reconfiguring friendship, social relationship, and the internet, from Conira Di Gennaro and William H. Dutton, we know that the internet has helped people to meet new friends, first forming online relationships, and then were turned into face-to-face relationships. In this study, we can see that in USA, people make average 3.4 online friends a year.
Yes, Jose, you are right, but in that study, it also said that only the 23% of them ever meet face-to-face. According to the psychologist Francisca Rodriguez, director of the Centers for Psychology, Campus, Barcelona, communication technologies have a negative effect on people. Due to most them spending a lot of hours on the internet, and it causes an isolation for the real world. This causes people different problems of social behavior. For example, she has patients that only have virtual friends and can have more than 1,000 friends in Facebook, and thus unknown who they don't know.
So, according to you, new technologies isolate you from the world. Well, let me quote. What a strange practice it is that a man should sit down to his breakfast table and, instead of conversing with his wife and children, hold before his face a sort of screen on which is inscribed a worldwide gossip. These words ring as true today as when they were first written in 1909. They were the observations of one of America's first and most renowned sociologists, Charles Cooley. And they were about how the morning delivery of the newspaper were undermining the American family. Well, thank God the scourge of the newsman is in decline.
Negative team, we need to keep the debate going.
We don't have anything to add to the intervention.
Okay, thank you. Positive team, would you like to make another intervention?
Sure. For example, social ties that we once have abandoned as we left high school, change job, or move from one neighborhood to another, now persist online. High school friends from now persist on Facebook. The same is true for social professional acquaintances, distant relatives, and friends for all facets of our life. In our closest relationships today, technologies don't replace the in-person interactions, they supplement it.
Isaac.
Jordan Brown, Diego, but what about someone who doesn't have family or friends nearby, and his only interactions are virtuals? This interaction will be less fulfilling. For instance, in a study conducted by Larry Lawson, a professor of psychology of California State University, Dominguez Hill, we found that while empathy can be dispensed in the virtual world, it is 1/6 less effective in making the recipients feel the society support compared with the empathy proffered in the real world. In other words, a hook feels 6 times more supportive than emoji.
Okay, thank you. Now we are going to start with the last subtopic, which is cyberbullying, and we are going to start with the positive team. The negative team. Sarah?
Okay, I would like to start this subtopic with a question. Is it acceptable to hate or attack someone, to attack people because they are different? Do you think that you are better because you humiliate another person? Well, due to cyberbullying, you can attack someone using a fake profile without any consequences.
Daniel?
I don't agree with you because the main advantage of new technologies is that the trail of something that you post on the internet remains, so there will be consequences. I mean, it could be easy to look for this post and use them to report to the police. We aren't talking about your word against mine, and nowadays everything you post is recorded, you know, so new technologies are great tools to identify bullying and report this behavior. That's my opinion.
Raquel?
Okay, Daniel, but I think that is not enough report that behavior to the police because some of the main effects of cyberbullying are depression, anxiety, or stress-related disorder. This effect won't be disappear after you report it. People who are bullied will have low esteem problem forever.
Jose?
Sorry, Raquel, but I think you are wrong because these are the consequences of bullying in general. Here we are discussing about a topic very clear. We are talking about the new technologies, and as I said before, despite the effects being the same, thanks to the new technologies, it's easier to identify and eradicate the cyberbullying.
Isaac?
I understand your point of view, but identifying the cyberbullying is not enough because the fact is that this kind of harassment can become depression and even drive someone to suicide. Do you know that suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people? According to CDC, each year 4,400 causes of suicide are recorded in the USA. For every suicide, there are at least 100 suicide attempts. At least the half of the suicide among young people are related to cyberbullying.
Victoria?
You are right, Isaac, but the new technologies can not only help to report a photo or hurting post. It also helps to detect the potential suicidal or self-harm blog or web which promotes this dangerous web to handle the bullying. For example, the Tumblr, the microblogging platform most popular among teenagers, has restricted their searches since February 2012. So when you search terms like depression or suicide, you are redirected to a page with counseling and prevention resources.
Okay, thank you, Dims. Now we are going to finish the debate with some questions from the audience. Who is the next? Maria?
Good morning. Thank you, Juan, and thanks to all for the debate. The subtopic has been very interesting, and the intervention have been exciting and interesting too. My question is for the team in favor. In the subtopic of social relationships, the impact of new technologies on children has not been commented. Since our society is increasingly technological, and nowadays children have access to the internet and to new technologies. Do you think it is positive for children to get used to maintaining social relationships through the internet?
Victoria?
Well, it's a difficult question, okay? But the use of the internet and the video games since childhood has made new generations getting better, get better with technology, and they use it almost instinctively. According to the psychologist Francisca Rodriguez, it is possible for young people and children to know how to use these technologies because it makes easier to keep in touch with their friends, as long as, of course, their parents teach them how to use these technologies properly. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Another question? Kai?
As Maria did the question for the favorite team, I have a question for the team against. In my opinion, what are the new technologies doing about...
Sorry, Kai, the microphone.
Okay. As Maria did the question for the favorite team, I have a question for the team against. In my opinion, what the new technology is doing about the cyberbullying is just like you are trying to repair the glass that you have broke. So I would like to ask, do you think the benefit of the use of the new technology overweight the damage?
Sarah?
Okay, I think that the new technologies could be good in some cases, like for the learning process of children, but it has to be always with the supervision of their parents. However, I don't think that the benefits outweigh the damage because, as Isaac said before, there are a lot of cases of suicide due to cyberbullying.
Another question? Carlos?
I have a question for both groups. Nowadays, our life goes around smartphones. If we don't have our phones, we are completely go out from the world. So my question is, do you think that society is going to end up dehumanized because of the use or the abuse of technologies?
Fabian?
Yes, absolutely. Because we are more and more dependent of technologies every day. We use technology in almost every aspect of our life. The first thing that we do when we make up in the morning is check our phones. We chat more than we speak. We prefer to use Facebook instead of hanging out with our friends or with each other. We are getting dehumanized, I think.
Miguel Ángel?
Well, obviously our team says no. I don't think society is going to end up dehumanized because the use of technology is just a complement that benefits and improves our lives. Technology makes our life easier. We're not talking just about relationships, but also about means of transport, healthcare, education, etc. Nowadays, you can know how long you have to wait until your bus arrives. You can pay for anything just by approaching your phone. You can check your medical history using your phone too. Technology is beneficial.
Okay, thank you, teams, and thank you, the audience, for your questions. Now, here the debate ends. Thank you very much.